Hey guys, DPG here, hackhollywood.com, hackbollywood.com. Got another great video for you guys today, but as I keep saying, and I guess I need to remind you, please like, share, and subscribe, because that is what makes it possible for me to keep bringing you this information. And it also is what is going to make this information ubiquitous, that is available to everyone, so that there are fewer and fewer of us subjected to the ridiculous suggestions of people who don't know what they are talking about, right? The people who are scared to go out and do it on their own, to come up with their own way, to create a goal, a plan, and then execute on it, and actually find out what will happen if you do things that sound like great ideas, because they probably are great ideas, but somebody scared you out of trying them. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about the fact that the more I conceive of this stuff and the more that I teach it, the more I realize there are really, really famous people, extremely successful people, who are teaching the highest levels of corporations and government and thought leaders in general about how they should go about creating their business and just going about their business in general, how you should behave as a human being. And yesterday I was watching 60 Minutes with my fiance, Mary, and she said, "Oh, look, it's Brené Brown." And I'm like, "Oh, great." Who's Brené Brown? And as it turns out, she's a big thought leader who among other things, she's written several books, but one of the concepts she was teaching on 60 Minutes is that vulnerability is something that you should aspire to, because really the only way to be yourself is to be vulnerable and open, right? Because to be yourself means you are letting people see what's going on inside of you, not putting some front up that is as though you think people want you to be. And I have been telling my private coaching clients this for a long time. The way to overcome almost all of the objections, the way to get off a meeting, the way to approach somebody and really start things off on the right foot is by truly expressing how you are feeling in that moment, right? And what that means is, look, if you are trying to approach somebody for the first time and you're feeling nervous about it, that means you would actually say, "Hi, Mr. Green. Hi, David Patrick. Hi, whatever. I wanted to talk to you about something, but I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going to trip all over my words because I'm a little nervous right now," right? That's what you would say to somebody. Say somebody was saying that to me, and I would say, "Oh, well, you don't have to be nervous. How is it that I can help you, right? What are you nervous about?" That instantly attracts people to you. And not in a phony way, because you are being sincere and they can sense your sincerity. That makes them want to be sincere back, right? And it'll make them more vulnerable. And then we're sharing an experience and we're kind of on the same page. Like, I want to help you out and you want to help me out, because we're expressing how we're really feeling. And that bonds us. And all of a sudden we're like, "Hey, you're a person with problems. I'm a person with problems. Maybe I can help you with your problems, and let's start that conversation." Now, one of the things that she mentioned that I also advocate, and that I was a huge, I've actually made this mistake myself, was having boundaries. So it's not enough just to be vulnerable to get somebody to take an interest in you. I mean, they will, but if you don't know where to draw the line, like when somebody's being gracious with you, but you don't know where to stop and end the conversation and get the point across that you called to make originally, like whatever that is, if you want a meeting with somebody, or if you want to ask them a question, or if you want to offer your help, whatever the reason for your contacting them is, you don't want to get into the whole, tell me all about your life. And I actually did that. When I was living in Warsaw, Poland, I had access to some very high level people because it was the end of communism, like the Iron Curtain, as it was called, which was basically the boundary around the entire Soviet Union, which included all the Eastern Bloc countries, and I lived in Poland. That Iron Curtain had just come down. And so all these American companies, European companies had gone to Poland to set up shop. And I often had brunch with CEOs for some of the big companies. And one of them that I became friendly with was for Procter & Gamble. And one time I approached him at a party and I had this idea. Well, Procter & Gamble had suggested to me that I set up my own business for reasons I won't get into. But I was really not sure what I should do or how I should do it. So I had the ear of this guy, and I was just asking him question after question, and it was silly. Well, it wasn't silly. I didn't know any better at the time. That this guy was, with his family and really close friends, and I should have said, "Hey, can I set up a meeting with you at your office?" And then I would have had more thought out questions, and it's not like anything terrible happened. It was fine, but I revealed myself as having been someone who hadn't thought this through, which isn't going to exactly, engender a lot of confidence with him. So anyway, the point being is that whatever it is you're feeling is legitimate, but the more you try to hold it in, the more you try to put up a front and pretend that whatever is happening with you isn't happening, the longer it actually stays with you, right? You can't get rid of it because there's no outlet for it. You have to have the outlet. And the only way to have the outlet is to actually let it out. Let it out. Okay? Wow. I'm really putting together some brilliance here. And so if you're talking to somebody, whatever level they're at, producer, director, it doesn't matter what field you're in, somebody that you want to connect with, and for whatever reason, because of, the fears of failure, the fears of this, that, and the other, all imaginary, if you just get it out and say, wow, and you could be, vulnerability doesn't have to be like, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm whatever. It can even just be to tell somebody about yourself a little. What just happened on the way to work today? What just happened before I called? Hey, Mr. Green, how's it going? Good, my name's so-and-so. I was going to call you to talk to you about such and such, but, before I do, I have to tell you that I have been planning this call for a long time. And several times I was about to make the call and all these crazy things kept happening to me. I almost thought this was never going to happen. One time my cell phone battery died and it just wouldn't charge again. And I'm like, really? I finally get the courage to do this and my cell phone won't cooperate? Stuff like that. It's really fun and it's funny and it's the kind of stuff people would love to hear because all of a sudden they're relaxed listening to your story and they're not thinking, who is this stranger that's calling me who's acting all nervous, right? So the fact that you get your nervousness out or you get a story out or you share something about yourself, again, it builds a bond between you and the person you're talking to. Okay, guys, so anyway, I just wanted to point out that I am way ahead of Brené Brown. Brené Brown. It's ironic, David Patrick Green, Brené Brown. I don't know, maybe we should work together. But I'm miles ahead of her. In fact, I have seriously sophisticated strategies to overcome, like to just not use words like vulnerability. It's easy to say, but what does it mean? I know what it means and I know exactly what you should do to overcome all of the objections beyond just being vulnerable, because being vulnerable, like I said, it's not enough, right? Because if you don't know exactly what you want, and if you don't know what you have to offer, if you don't have a plan to get what you want, if you don't have a plan to deal with somebody that finally picks up the phone and finally accepts your call or whatever, if you don't know what you're going to do ahead of time, then you're just going to be vulnerable, and that's it. So what we want to do is use vulnerability to help us accomplish what we want to accomplish. And that's where I don't know where Brené Brown leaves off, because I haven't really studied her work. She's certainly written plenty of stuff on the topic, but that's where I really enter the picture with my coaching clients. Is I have acronyms, formulas, strategies, tactics, all of which are designed to basically make you seem like exactly what somebody is looking for, because frankly, you are what they are looking for, because you have done your homework, you've figured it out, you can see where the gaps are in their world, their company, where they might need help. And of course, there's a certain amount of guesswork, so you're just coming up with a plan, and you try out the plan, and you find out where the holes are in your plan, because they'll say, oh, I don't need help with that. And you'll be like, I thought you might. But anyway, guys, so vulnerability, try it out, try just being yourself, but have a goal and then have a plan to accomplish that goal. And you can, again, share all of this stuff, but remember to have the boundaries, okay? And the way to have the boundaries is by being clear on what you're trying to get out of each specific interaction. That way you won't go beyond it and get too carried away with tangents and telling somebody your life story. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. Again, like, share, subscribe, comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And listen, if you're from another place, I don't know, you think this doesn't relate to you because it's different in India, it's different in Australia, it's different in the UK, it's different in Europe, Germany, France, Switzerland, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, China, wherever, it ain't different. It's all the same no matter where you are. It's just your perceptions that are fooling you, and you have been fooled by just listening to other people making general comments about, oh, you can't do that here. We don't like someone who's too successful. We don't like someone who's pushy. Nobody specifically likes anyone who's pushy, but they also realize that if somebody's pushing you with something that you want, you might listen to them. You might think they're obnoxious or whatever, but that's why I tell you, be vulnerable, because then you're not going to come across as pushy, okay? So I could go anywhere in the world and I could approach anybody at any level and I can make a connection with them simply by allowing whatever is really going on inside of me to come out, okay, guys? So all of you who I've heard from by the thousands in India and all over the world who are telling me, oh, your information would be good if only you lived in India and only you had pursued a career in Bollywood. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, guys. It doesn't even matter the vocation, like whether it's acting or medicine or underwater welding. It's all the same no matter what. Universal principles of success. And in my case, applied to acting. I will talk to you soon.